Welcome to Channel the night of September 6, 2025. Felt like more than just another regular season WNBA matchup. This wasn't merely Minnesota against Golden State. It was a battle of tradition versus the league's newest rising power. The Minnesota Lynx entered this game carrying the weight of their storied franchise history. Championship banners, legendary players, and a legacy of resilience. Their fans expect toughness, discipline, and a winning mentality every time they step on the court. On the other side, the Golden State Valkyries represented fresh energy, a young franchise built on innovation, athleticism, and fast-paced basketball. Their Bay Area crowd has embraced them with the same passion once reserved for the Warriors dynasty. As tip-off approached, the Chase Center buzzed with anticipation. Fans filled every seat, waving banners, holding homemade signs, and chanting for their Valkyries. The noise was deafening, a reminder that this expansion team has already built one of the league's most passionate fan bases. Both teams knew the stakes. For Minnesota, this was about solidifying playoff seeding. For Golden State, it was about proving they belonged among the league's elite. The players gathered at center court, sneakers squeaking, eyes locked in determination. The officials checked the clock, and in that moment, the entire arena collectively held its breath. The ball was tossed into the air. The battle began. The opening minute set the tone. High intensity, relentless pace, and fearless shot-making. Minnesota struck first. Their point guard controlled the tempo, orchestrating the offense with precision. She found their star forward in the paint for an early bucket, signaling the Lynx's commitment to dominating inside. But the Valkyries answered immediately. A lightning-quick guard sliced through the defense, finishing with a smooth layup off the glass. The crowd erupted, feeding the Valkyries with adrenaline. The first few possessions turned into a showcase of contrasting styles. Minnesota emphasized structure, running crisp pick-and-rolls, executing backdoor cuts, and capitalizing on mismatches. Golden State leaned into chaos. Fast breaks, quick trigger threes, and transition offense that forced Minnesota to sprint back on every possession. By the midway point of the quarter, both teams had traded runs. Minnesota built a small lead thanks to strong rebounding and second-chance points, but Golden State closed the gap with perimeter shooting. Their rookie sensation drilled a deep three, followed by another from the wing, swinging momentum firmly toward the Valkyries. Defensively, both sides showed flashes of intensity. Minnesota's rotations forced Golden State into tough looks, but the Valkyries' relentless ball pressure created turnovers that turned into fast-break highlights. One sequence saw Golden State's guard pick off a pass at midcourt, race down the floor, and lob the ball to her teammate for a soaring finish. The crowd nearly blew the roof off. As the first quarter closed, the scoreboard reflected the deadlock. Neither team had gained separation, but both had sent a clear message. This was going to be a fight to the final buzzer. The second quarter began with both coaches making tactical adjustments. Minnesota's bench entered, bringing fresh legs and defensive grit. Golden State countered with a lineup built around speed and spacing. The result? A defensive slugfest. Minnesota suffocated passing lanes, forcing Golden State into difficult isolation plays. Their shot blocker anchored the paint, rejecting a driving layup and igniting a fast break that ended in a smooth pull-up jumper. Golden State, however, refused to fold. They trapped aggressively on the perimeter, pressuring Minnesota's ball handlers into mistakes. A sequence of back-to-back steals led to transition threes, sending the home crowd into another frenzy. Midway through the quarter, the game slowed down. Both teams were in the bonus, and free throws became critical. Minnesota's veterans showed composure at the line, while Golden State's younger players battled nerves, missing a few key opportunities. Yet the Valkyries' resilience shone through. Their veteran forward hit a contested three to tie the game, followed by a defensive stop that shifted momentum once more. As halftime approached, the energy was electric. Every possession felt magnified, every mistake costly. Both teams entered the locker room nearly even on the scoreboard, but the intensity hinted at a second half destined for fireworks. When the teams came out of the locker room after halftime, the atmosphere inside the arena felt different. The noise of the crowd had reached another level, and both teams had made adjustments that promised to make the second half a battle of execution. Minnesota struck first, opening the quarter with a perfectly executed pick and roll. The point guard drew the defense high and slipped a pass to her rolling forward, who finished the layup with ease. The Lynx veterans were clearly intent on setting the tone, slowing the pace and pounding the ball inside. Their star center delivered back-to-back plays. First a smooth turnaround jumper, then a defensive stop on the other end. That reminded everyone why Minnesota had come into the night with playoff momentum. Golden State, however, responded almost instantly. Their sharpshooter pulled up from deep and buried a three that lit the building on fire. The very next trip, the Valkyries ran the floor in transition, and their rookie sensation sliced through defenders with a Euro step layup that had fans leaping out of their seats. Within minutes, the slim Lynx advantage was erased, and the Valkyries had their own lead. The quarter became a furious back-and-forth exchange. Minnesota leaned on their experience, grinding out possessions in the paint, using their strength to draw fouls and control tempo. Golden State countered with speed and flair, launching threes, pushing the ball, and daring the Lynx to keep up with their pace. Each run was met with an answer. When Minnesota surged ahead by 4, Golden State stormed back with a pair of threes. When the Valkyries grabbed a 6-point edge, Minnesota clawed back with methodical half-court execution. The intensity reached its peak midway through the quarter. On one possession, a Minnesota guard lost a handle, and Golden State's quick hands turned it into a fast break opportunity. Their lead guard sprinted the length of the court with 2 defenders trailing, only to dish at the last second to her teammate for a highlight reel finish. The crowd roared so loudly it felt like the roof might lift off the arena. Coaches played their part in this chess match. Minnesota briefly switched into a zone defense, trying to cut off Golden State's perimeter looks. The Valkyries countered by running high screens to free up their guards, creating driving lanes that broke down the zone. Every adjustment was met with a counter. Every tactical shift answered almost immediately. The closing minutes of the quarter were pure drama. With the shot clock winding down, Minnesota's veteran forward stepped into the corner and calmly buried a three, giving the Lynx a momentary edge. But the final possession belonged to the Valkyries. Their rookie, showing composure beyond her years, dribbled down the clock, rose from well beyond the arc with a defender draped over her, and drilled the buzzer beater.